The character Rat in Green's series originally appeared originally just as a villain lying to Wrath. Used to be the kind of character that viewers think will soon be forgotten after a few episodes, but more and more later, he's slowly become one of the characters, the most memorable of the series. It's not because there's too much power or too many victories, it's because of the way this character is constantly changing factions throughout the movie. From a machine loyal to the Germans, then manipulated, betrayed cooperation with England, and then he gets caught up in other wars. Rat almost never really stands still. On one side, too long. But what's interesting is that Rat's side change. It doesn't make this character hated too much. On the contrary, it helps you become an animal much better than many other characters. Because every time you change your mind, it's a shift in thinking. His feelings and his way of seeing the war. Like so many other war kids in the movies. I was a great admirer of my father. You are one of the monsters, the most powerful artillery of that time, but after 7 defeats in the First World War, their families gradually fell into poverty. You have to sell your house and live by farming. That situation made Ronaldo was caught up in Nazi extremism. With a punch before talk after mindset, I decided to leave my father, to go to war in the hope of changing everything. Sometime later, especially in the early seasons of Ratatouille, after countless battles were eventually defeated by KV-44, and then they're dealt with by Leviathan for making him 7. I thought it was over, but Rat's body came back. Love becomes a sleeping place for a small American tank. The name is T1. While living the chill. Eat cake, drink coca, brush your teeth, relax. Then suddenly T was attacked by some German tanks. I asked, of course, after I couldn't break the shelter. They went to call more friends. At this time, T1, understand that yourself. Can't keep a guy relaxed anymore. We should start thinking like engineers, then start repairing and restoring Ratte. And since then, Ratte has come back to life. Immediately after the resurrection, Ratte instant open 8 by a triple-phase King pole fire. 3 German tanks are trying to bully T. According to that match, T a Rathia persuasive success. Fire back Leviathan. At first Rathia still hesitated, but after hearing more about the crimes committed by the Germans, I finally agree. Since that time, Rathia officially changed sides. He even repainted the armor with the symbol. It's a way of showing your friendship with T1 and also to cut off his old past. Continue the journey. Both decided to send it, a distress call to the Americans. I know the road ahead is dangerous. Fortunately, they found a German signal tower and start using it. However, during the battle, he accidentally fell from the tower and fell into a steaming state, regret and desperation. Ratte immediately went to the Soviets for help and finally met Ferguson's team with KV-44. However, in the past, more than 1,000 M's were destroyed. One shoot Rat just appeared was KV-44 shots for a guy who didn't miss a shot, until Rat declared an armistice and said that I was on the American side. Then everyone will stop, then aid in the cure for T1. According to that event, General Mess, an official GHGO Rat, joined the squad. Prepare for Leviathan. I met my ancestors and grandparents earlier than expected. I thought everything would go well, but just as the battle began, KV-54 surprises emerged from the battle. Ba hit 1 instantly, turns into 2 hit. Once KV-44 must leave the block, KV-54. No more team leaders. Ferrero and RE2 quickly fell into a position of weakness before Leviathan. Finally, Leviathan, in turn, defeated Ferrero and continued to lower our. It made me unconscious on the spot. After waking up, instant Ratte rushed to support. Just in time, Leviathan just pushed KV-44 to the world of Minecraft. You suddenly attacked. To make Leviathan realize that he's at a disadvantage, should be forced to retreat. I thought I finally had time off. Then another disaster comes. Farron begins to show signs of infection. After being too close to Leviathan, I'm slowly losing control, then turned to continuous Rat attack. Just as Rat was about to be taken down, KV-45 suddenly appeared to rescue. Although Rat, he was also infected and almost became a demon. Farron, but thanks to KV-45 timely vaccination. So you finally survived. After all the rap, T is upgraded and officially becomes a warrior. Under General M. One set continues to fight against the Germans. With my best friend T, one gets a period of time. Specifically, about 2 episodes. That group of Rat continues to become. Sand for a new monster is much scarier. And that's the 44, a copy of the KV-44. With the power of one man's army, the 44 quickly overwhelmed the entire battlefield. He was injured 5 years ago and had to retreat. Disable rate only for a short time. And finally helped KV-44 with high shoulder level. After dealing with most of the opponents, the 44 realized Rat is still alive. So we're going to the end. But at the same time, a British tank, Matilda's name, suddenly appeared. She immediately uses smoke bombs to blind the vision of the 44, then counterattack to pull the Rat out of danger. Originally, the 44 planned to continue tracking both, but at the right time, he got the signal to go somewhere else. Skibidi Soviet Army. So finally parole for Rat. After being helped up by Matilda, Rat became curious. I saw someone stealing KV-45's body. Realized that Matilda didn't hesitate to lay me on the ground again, and quickly sent them both to the Soviets to join them. And also from that time, Ratte and Matilda officially became a team due to after a battle with the 44, Teganum was sent somewhere else on duty. So both, we have to be together for a long time. However, Ratte still doesn't really trust Matilda. I always keep my distance and be careful, especially after receiving the news. My best friend is T1 died in anger and loss of control. Ratatouille even plunged into tons by Matilda. I suspect you're the one who made T1 lost his life, but it's not clear yet. Then another disaster appeared. Both are now tasked with dealing with the 44. He quickly came to say hello. Under pressure from the sausage monster, Ratte and Matilda, we have to stop fighting to fight. But obviously, monster title, sausage of the 44, not for fun. He easily overpowers both. That Ratte and Matilda were almost wiped out if the Soviet Air Force didn't come to their aid in time. But as you all know, the Air Force is the father of 4 riders. Themselves have no advantage when you drop bird droppings from the sky. He could only retreat after the battle. Ratte takes Matilda back to base. On the way, they met another group of Soviet soldiers. Matilda asked Ronaldo to paint. It's all Soviet blue again, to avoid being misunderstood, but Ronaldo refused. Because the old paint is the last thing, it is also associated with the memory of a friend, T, in accordance with the tradition of switching sides. Ronaldo also stated that if I don't trust you, I'll switch to the other side for convenience. However, before they could get there, the Germans attacked. In that situation, Matilda continues to play the role of a spy while posing as a faction. Germany to find a way to fix the 2 times of destruction. From the inside, there was a moment when Ratte thought she was a traitor. But in the end, the two continued to work together. On the way, they also met a pair of Soviet tanks and decided to escort them back to Moscow. At a German military base, Rat again forced to change color. This time, the whole brown paint, it was replaced by Soviet blue to make it easier to get into Moscow. And that's how we got the Ronaldo version. After going a long way, Ronaldo and Matilda decided to stay behind to stop the Germans, give the couple time to escape safely. After dealing with all the enemies, they both ended up on a ship and started our journey out to England. But, unfortunately, the territory that you're both passing through right now, it was controlled by the Germans. Since wind is not good, the result is our ship quickly sunk in the sea. Fortunately, the TVA is still nearby. He saved Rat and Matilda in time and put them both on a beach, the desert, before quietly leaving. After a period of time, Mansraid was the first to wake up. The first thing you do is calm, but you still have no reaction. In a panic, and there's no other way, Raid decided to do artificial respiration for her. And certainly with many brothers watching movies, then this very moment is the beginning. Boat push for couple, Raid and Matud. After Matilda woke up, both keep moving, and then suddenly discovered Gustav, the German super cannon. I'm aware of the danger from this cannon. Matilda wants the two to sneak away to avoid a fight. But Gratitude is too fast and extremely confident in his ammo plot. So we decided we'd both have to break into the factory to destroy Gustav. And so they actually did. Not surprisingly, both were quickly discovered. Not only killed by the 44 chasing spears, and they were almost pulled from the drill and shot to death on the spot. The gun's bullet was so powerful that it caused an explosion. It's like a mushroom cloud, the non-radioactive version of the nuclear bomb. Fortunately, Ratte and Matilda survived the explosion. Although the body is it's broken, but Gustav hasn't stopped. The cannon continues to fire, made Ratte shot into and Matilda just escaped. Please push me out of the blast zone. At the right time, as if it was over, the British Army, after the distress call from Matilda, finally arrived in time. They quickly put Ratatouille, Kit-Kat returned to repair. And true to the title of Saint of Change, after being resurrected again, Ratatouille decided to stand completely on Britain's side. You've become the main artillery monster of this faction, with the goal of helping them escape from the German occupation. And the starting point for that journey, the Battle of the Port of Normandy, where Ratatouille once again rematched with the 44. After a tense battle, Matilda was knocked down by the 44 and pressed to the ground. While their teammates are FV, it's also completely overpowered. That makes Ratte forced to alone confront with the 44. But it's obviously not easy. With overwhelming power, the 44 simply tossing Ratte off as far as a toy. See the Ratte, living too long also makes him feel like he's lost all his glory. So the 44 are determined to deal with you can equal. He's even ready to plunge into the sea, just to trace the ratio to the end. While the situation is almost desperate, TVA8 suddenly appeared and rushed straight into the 44. He lost his balance and fell overboard. And just like my fatal weakness, after being in the water for too long, The 44 finally died machine. With the 44 being defeated, Normandy officially fell back into the hands of the British. The British army began a strong counterattack, continuously liberating the towns once occupied by the Germans. Also during that time, Ratte and Matilda are getting closer and closer. He even gave her a tree as a gift. And I can tell you that the relationship between the two of you right now gone beyond normal friends. However, despite losing the strongest force, the German army has not completely collapsed. And that's when a new enemy emerged, the Grosterman, one of the greatest generals. As soon as it appears, he warned the Radels by spreading the fake news that FV was dead and arrest him for psychological pressure. This makes the British army very worried, because Grosterman is not only strong, extremely rich in combat experience. Fortunately for the water, your Grosterman's army, there is no more aid now. The Germans are dealing with other problems, so he doesn't have the strength to fight. With the whole British company, they were forced to retreat to Paris, Union army, and the only reinforcements he got was Cassio, a powerful demon under Leviathan. With the arrival of Cassio, the final battle to liberate France officially become extremely lean. One side is Ratte confrontation Roosterman, the other is Matilda and the FV brothers. Fight against Cassio. Original battle between Ratte and Roosterman. It's quite the same, when they're both very powerful warriors. But more and more later, the game is moving towards Ratte. The Roosterman must find a way out. On the run, he caught Matilda and took her hostage. The Roosterman immediately threatened that if Ratte killed him, then he'll kill Matilda right away. Now Ratte is completely at a standstill. I want Matilda to live because I love her. Matilda also fell in love with Ratte. But you know that if you give up now, then all the previous sacrifices will be meaningless. So I want you to end it. I thought this was going to be a tragedy. It's like a meme about a manga author. But surprise, T's brother, a surprise appearance. He threw a grenade, makes Roosterman miss Matilda. Or take the opportunity, Ratatouille immediately rush in. With the power of love, let the Roosterman eat a toothpick. Floss his teeth to undo all the damage he's done. The final battle ended at the foot of the FN Tower, where Grosterman had previously occupied. On the other side of the battlefield, Cassio was also seriously injured and could only try to get the remnants of the Germans to retreat. The remaining soldiers were eventually forced to surrender. Britain officially regained France. After all, Russia has finally confessed its feelings to Matilda right at the foot of the FN Tower. In the presence of all the team, the body of the Roosterman, still eating toothpick in his mouth, both are married and kiss each other in everyone's joy. To temporarily close Ratte's volatile journey, before the story goes back to war, Soviet and German schools, in the next wars. Even though the situation is getting more difficult, Ratte's team still managed to overwhelm the Germans, especially after the addition of FV-44. The battles are also much lighter. But that peaceful time, it doesn't last long. On a mission with FV's brother, Rat began to appear strange manifestations. It's like you're a completely different person. At first, no one noticed too much, but then it became clearer. When you suddenly, silently murder, engineers are studying the body of the Roosterman. He then took him back to his old body and run away, to the astonishment of the British and Matthew. Rat finally returned to Germany, and then he was restored to his paint color and the old shape of the Germans. At the same time, he met his fiancée, Sophia. I can say right now, Rat has almost no regrets. With my old comrades in the UK, he almost killed Matilda, if Roosterman does not ask to stop hand. And to mark his return, the German army upgraded the Rat to Titanium Rat, a monster. Giant artillery carries power far ahead of Kia. He also became a warrior at the same time, loyal under Leviathan. But there's something very wrong. At Sao Rathia has changed so dramatically. A traitor to Leviathan. He fought with Matthew D. and the British army. Why can you turn around so easily? And then the truth was revealed. Turned out in plastic case with brother FV, both were ambushed by the Germans. FV's brother was arrested, and Rat was brainwashed and erased. All my memories for 3 to 4 years, since you betrayed Leviathan, has been wiped out. Not only that, the Germans planted false memories in his head, make Ronaldo believe that the self was a spy planted on the British side from the beginning. In my mind right now, everything I do, it's all in the service of our violent ideals. Leviathan can say, the current Ronaldo, it's like going back to the oldest version of yourself, an extremist warrior. We believe in power and war. According to the present time, you're still actively serving the Germans. However, sometimes some signs appear. It shows that old memories may not have completely disappeared, even though the chances are very low. But maybe one day, Ratte will remember everything and change sides again. Whether it's actually happening or not. Let's continue to follow the progress of the movie about the Vandal personality gacha. is a believer, absolutely, into the violent ideology of Leviathan. I believe that only power can bring peace. So always fight extremely cold and uncompromising with the enemy. However, Rat Tail is not completely insensitive. Despite the idea of using the power of domination, you're still more likely to arrest and kill them all. You yourself are extremely upset with the murder of children, and once angrily questioned Leviathan about it. Can say, Rat was originally like someone who went the wrong way, more than a real villain. I still have a great devotion to Leviathan though. I never thought about betrayal, until I saw the brutality of the Germans. Especially the massacre of prisoners, caused by Leviathan and Dora, through the recording of Tia, a completely new rat that changed my mind. He decided to betray the Germans. That brutality lay more broadly. Bradley understood very well. To turn your back on your side is to betray your fellow man, but he also understood the dark side of the regime that he himself has served, so I don't want to continue to tolerate it. Outside of fighting, Ratte is also a very serious team player. You're ready to take a bullet from KV-44 to save T1. Or sacrifice yourself. Protect Matilda from a good top shot. Even with the enemy, if they surrender, I don't want to kill for nothing. This is a very important part of this change in the rate, also from Matilda. At first I was always alert, and I don't trust you because of your spy status, but more and more later he cares more about you and protects you more than anyone else. Matilda almost became a rat helper. Completely changed my person. Later, when the memory is erased, right back to the brutal version before killing. You no longer tolerate the enemy, and it's becoming more extreme. It's like when you absolutely believed in Leviathan. But deep inside, I still haven't lost my humanity. I still care about my team, ready to stay in the vote top. One for others to retreat. Or always protecting his fiancée, Sophia. Even though, always, mouth says kindness, not as important as your own life, I still look back unconsciously to see the Germans laughing at the Soviet corpses, instead of just walking away. That shows deep inside, Ronaldo has yet to fully accept the brutality that I am pursuing. Of appearance and strength, Ratte carries the body of a giant super tank, with a long body, heavy with a series of dense weapons of the right substance, based on real-life rate patterns. You're armed with 2 large main cannons. Behind them are 2 twin-barreled anti-aircraft batteries. The cannon behind the body make look. It's nothing more than a real mobile fortress. In the period of accompanying T1 against Leviathan, Rat is replaced with brown paint, same American military symbol as a sign of friendship between the two. In addition to main gun was changed from twin to single gun. The whole thing doesn't change too much. They mostly keep the old style. After being upgraded by the Soviets, your head is protected with armor. The towers, anti-aircraft guns are also reinforced more firmly. The rear is equipped with a support cannon. In front of the body is one large armor shield reduces direct damage. According to the Soviet version of green paint, the design is almost the same, mainly change paint color and add more functions for a more aggressive appearance. After joining the water, he was replaced with a brand new body. It has a distinctly British style. You've got a big gun with a flamethrower. The body is equipped with a gun, and especially the extra thick armor on the front, the same big steel hat that protects the entire head. I can tell you this is a very strong rat, period. When you're strong enough to defeat the Rooster Man in combat. But the biggest upgrade of the rat. Time to get back on the side. German and become titanium rat. Different from previous versions. This time he was almost completely renovated with a larger size. Many bodies are covered in countless thick armor. Front equipped with steel shields with special exo furnace. It can be built straight for defense or open tilt when fighting. There's a jet mechanism behind it. Help repel opponents when approaching. The head is covered in a closed armor. The same thick steel jaw. The horns above are protruding. It feels like nothing more than a demon, the real war. Behind the head is a big iron hat, integrated series of heavy artillery, giant twin cannons, flamethrowers, and large missile batteries. Weapons and technology on Titan rate. It's reached a completely different level. It's even technical. He surpassed the 44 in many ways. It's not just about firepower. The new suit also has a voice-altering function. To better match the giant and scary appearance, your titanium rate is extremely powerful. Every time they appear on the battlefield, the combination of combat experience, thick with series, modern upgrade, rates, he became one of the strongest fighters on the side. Germany at the present time, even rated slightly better than the 44. But also because it's so modern. So the repair and maintenance for titanium, Ratte, extremely expensive, makes you very rarely fully repaired. After the big battles, you can tell the journey of changing sides of RTP. It's not just the tradition of switching sides, like a fan or a joke. It's actually a process of psychological development and very interesting personality, from a cult of extreme power to someone who appreciates his team. He returned to Germany in a state of memory loss. It's what makes his character so special. In addition, Guran also builds relationships. The relationship between Ronaldo and Matthew in a slow but very emotional way make this become one of my favorite couples. Series. It's what makes this character so special. Add to that, Green also builds the relationship between Rat and Motud in a slow but very emotional way. That makes this one of those couples. My favorite series.